edit, transform, rotate. Again, look at the two layers I have selected. And I'm going to move them right on top of this puppy. Go back to edit, transform, scale. And I'm going to hold on shift and I'm going to stretch it out a little bit. Maybe I'll center it on this thing. And see what happens when we layer these on top of that pattern, right? That looks sweet, right? Okay, so far everything's a rectangle, right? This is the last thing I want to show you, I think. I'm going to make a copy of that wallpaper, edit. I should be able to right-click the file. Yeah. If I just take my marquee and just deselect it, I should be able to right-click this thing and go to duplicate layer. Yeah. Now I've got that, and I can move it over here. Hitting Command minus, I'm zooming back out. I can also hold down Shift and select, or actually hold down Command and select multiple layers. That way I can move all this stuff out of the way. If I grab this one that we just cut, I can go to lasso or polygonal, that makes straight lines. Oops. You can see if you zoom in, I have it selected. Selected a section of that. Let's copy that and paste it. Then get rid of that layer behind it. And then, like, what if we drag that on top of all this stuff? And then maybe try and line it up with, I'm just freestyling, where it should have been. That's hard to do, right? So let's make these go, well, no, let's keep them there. To do that, you can make it, looking at its opacity, which means not see-through. Translucence means somewhat see-through. Full with that. And then you can slide it. If I zoom in, you can, like a puzzle, sort of look for where it matches up. So I want to find this leaf that looks like a face. Here's one. And selecting V, I can now use my directional arrows on my keyboard and just sort of poke around. See how these little lines are lining up? So vertically they're good. Let's do horizontally. This little moment might help us, this little guy. I'm going to get him right on the edge of that line. Boom. That's right where we need to be. So now we've got some really trippy stuff going on, right? If we make this 100% again, because it looks like we don't know what's front and what's back, right? This pattern looks like it's in the background, but now it's in the foreground, right? So I know I have some experience with Photoshop, so I can kind of make moves and sort of try things out. But really, I'm just clicking around. Really, I'm saying, oh, what's this do? Oh, what's this dodge tool do? Oh, that lightens things. Really? And I can hit and undo at any point. You can right-click the screen at any point, and you can adjust the size of your tool. So always right-click. Command and Shift are always going to do different things. You can soften the tool. And then you can lighten that layer. It's like slowing my computer down. This is a term, if you've ever done hand process photography, that's another term. Dodging and burning, those are processes used in the darkroom. I can darken. It's going to lag a little bit. See? Whoa! Now in my lecture I talk about good art and bad art and stuff. You could see how you could kind of push this to a point that becomes visual puke. And you remember, oh, remember how peaceful that was? we're just making concentric shapes. Yeah, this is getting this real 90s kind of design flair right now. There's a lot of craziness going on. There's all sorts of things you can do in here. So that's always the brush tool, but that's kind of boring. You could go down to your color palette, select something like maybe we're dealing with oranges and yellows and purples, right? So we're kind of in a complementary zone. So what would be like a split complementary with orange and purple? I don't even know. I'd have to Google that. But let's just say let's pick another shade of orange to keep it in that. Let's make it a fiery kind of orange. Select that, and I got my brush tool. And if you hold down, if you see a little arrow on that tool where you can do more. Stick with the brush tool. If you right click, you can see all the different brush examples you option. Don't use this weird junk. It's fast. It's being slow. Yeah, like the more complicated tasks you do, the more it's going to slow your computer down. Don't use this brushiness. Well, no, I'm not going to say that. Do whatever you want, but keep it non-objective. Don't like. I like flat edges, so I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep this one, this simple form, and then I could just draw on top of this image. Does it work? What's it doing? There it goes. See? Now we're making art. Okay. So, have fun. Oh, this is vital. Oh my God. I would have been lost if I hadn't done this. So you've got this canvas, this workspace. The last thing you do when you love your piece, I actually really like this. I'm going to put it on Instagram. You want to go to your crop tool right here. I'm even going to use these guides. I'm going to make guides, and I'm going to put it right on the edge of the work. This piece is awesome. So a lot of painters will do stuff like this in Photoshop, and then they'll like project this onto a canvas and then hand paint it all. So now I've got these guides sort of encapsulating this thing. I'm going to click my crop tool, and remember, it naturally wants to hug the guide. So it's going to grab on, boom. And if you're unsure if it works, you can zoom in. With my wheel, scroll down, and you see that crop tool is there. Oh no. I clicked the hand, and then my crop tool went away. Let's try that again. Anyway, the crop tool will hug onto those guides. So I'm going to do that again, and then watch. Once it's there, these little boxes come around, and you can adjust if you want. I'm going to hit return. Boom. That's our piece. Now how do you feel about it with this black background? So I'm going to go to View, turn off rulers, turn off clear guides. This is even our background color, this one. I thought it was. Never mind. Anyway, that's our piece, right? So now I'm going to go to File, Save As. You can save it as a Photoshop file, which is amazing. That way I could, if I were on the go, if I were on someone else's computer, I could make a piece, save it as a Photoshop file, and then I could open it up in Photoshop later. Let's export it as don't do GIF. PDF is excellent. But let's just do JPEG. PDF is like print quality. If you want to send it to a printer, send them that. JPEG is your pretty standard image file. So already, look, this is a preview. So I could zoom in and out. Oh, no, I can't. It lets us adjust the image quality. You want to turn that sucker all the way up. 100% quality. That's our motto. It's being slow. There it goes. You can see how it got crispy then. 100%. That's it. You know it's going to be huge. Save. It's thinking. And it saved it. Open. There it is. Boom. Let's compare it to this compared to this other one we made. I'm even going to hit Command R and rotate that. See what the possibilities are? So hopefully you'll have a lot of fun on this program. You can do a lot of amazing things. This is fun. If I go to, look how big this thing is now. If I go to View, where did it go? Actual size, that's how big it is. So you see how it expanded just a little bit. If I go to this and go to View, Actual Size, boom, zooms in a lot. That's the actual resolution. See? This image here on the right is the same as that because we copied and pasted it and we didn't change its size. So you can see you have a huge image. That's what I mean by a high resolution image. So I could take this image and I could rotate it and I could make that my desktop background on my computer. It'd be kind of fun. All sorts of applications. That's a sick, sick painting. I call it painting if it looks like a painting, drawing if it looks like a drawing, sculpture if it looks like a sculpture. Okay, there you go. In terms of the theme, just spitballing. This has kind of this antique thing going on with this background. It feels like Victorian. And this orange gesture feels like neon a little bit. And these squares feel very modern. So you could argue that this is, kind of fits into your old and young theme, right? Just on a symbolic point of view. I mean, design-wise, you could talk about this gesture being this movement across the screen and everything else being rather kind of still, and argue about movement and talk about that in terms of the theme. This is just talking about sort of visual subject matter. But yeah. All right, so we'll see you next week. Bye.